Salam, and welcome back to another one of my videos about books. It's been a little while since my last one, but I'm back with more energy, ready to go into it, ready to roll my sleeves up and jump back into this virtual booktube, as kids like to call it. So today I'm going to look at 3 science fiction books that have really kind of impacted me and helped form some of my views and just some of my favourite science fiction books that I've enjoyed going forwards. So the first book I'm going to start off with is Daniel Keyes' Flower for Algernon. So this book really is a very special book. Essentially, it starts off with the protagonist, who's someone who's got very low IQ, and he's given the chance to have this magic science drug to suddenly become average, and then beyond average. And you begin to read in this book how he views the world around him, how perhaps people he thought were his friends were actually laughing at him. His entire concepts of how he views and sees the world completely change over the course of this book. It's an amazing exploration of being human, of understanding what do we perceive. Is our reality only what we perceive it to be? Our relationships between other people. It's an absolutely fantastic book that I recommend anyone tries to read. I think this was written back in 1950s. Let me just check in here. Published 1966. So it may feel a little bit dated to some readers. You know, there's no mentions of things like mobiles or stuff like that. So you've really got to keep that in mind. That is a period piece of the time it was written in. But regardless of that, it is a genuinely fantastic read. You really feel a strong sense of bond and empathy for the lead character within this. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful book. As you feel for Charlie in his story, you begin to see how he develops new relationships, new interests, new passions. It kind of really is like a metaphor about growing up in some ways. How things that perhaps interested us as a child don't go on to interesting and exciting us as adults. But then right at the end, there's this incredibly cruel heartfelt moments that Charlie experiences. I'm not going to give it away here, but it is incredibly heartbreaking, the choices and decisions that have to be made towards the end of the book. If anyone is interested in science fiction or just looking to dip their toes into the field of science fiction, this is always one of the best books I recommend that people go and look towards, because it doesn't have, say, the usual tropes that science fiction has, as like three-headed aliens or robots out to kill humanity or anything like that. It's at its core, this is a human story. It's the story of the individual. It's the story of our potential growth, our world's changing, and it's wrapped within this science fiction that propels the IQ to go whoop, up from like 65 up to like 165. And even the writing style within the book, it begins writing in Charlie style. So really early on, the words are misspelled because Charlie doesn't know how to spell the words. So for example, I'm looking at page 4 here. He spells progress report PROGRIS, and then report RIPORT. And then Mar 6, I had crazy test today in case they use me. The same place but a different little testing room. The nice lady who gave it to me told me the name, and I asked her, how do you spell it? And this actually helps you really empathise and put yourselves in Charlie's shoes. And then you get to, progress report 14, and it's all in, all the spelling's correct, all the grammar's correct. There's like more references and metaphors to things, quotes about things, that suddenly impress him and suddenly interesting, fascinating. And that's why this is a phenomenal book that I absolutely love and adore for science fiction. Now, on to the next science fiction. I know that was the book without the bug-eyed aliens and everything like that. Perhaps it doesn't quite have the bug-eyed aliens, but it is more sci-fi. This is Arthur C. Clarke's Rendezvous with Rama. Now, this is another personal favourite of mine because it really is a book without answers. And that's what I found so compelling about this. So the central premise is that there's this alien ship that we think is alien, but we don't know, enters the solar system. and it's just kind of travelling near Earth. Astronauts land on it, and they've got to walk around this this object to try and find out what it is, where has it come from, who controlled it, who built it, who even grew it, what's going on around them. And it's just such a fantastic story that I absolutely love to read. It fuels the imagination, and I quite enjoy these novels where you don't have everything answered. You know, it's not like, oh, this was built by the builders in sector QR241. No, there's no answers in this. It's the exploration. It's the understanding a world around you. It's looking at things. It's trying to interpret things. This is what I find absolutely fascinating. I suppose it's probably why I enjoy films such as Arrival in some ways as well, because there's this unknownness. And this is what I recommend about this book. It's absolutely phenomenal. Arthur C. Clarke is one of my favourite science fiction authors. I really love, others of his work, such as Childhood's End, Childhood's End even, Space Odyssey 2001. Those are all bread and butter for me of books that I just absolutely enjoy of his, and this is one as well. I absolutely love this book going forwards. It just fills your mind and imagination. Once again, this is a book written in the 1950s, 1960s, I want to say. Oh, 1973, wow, even more modern than I thought. But it is a wonderful story. It has loads of mystery, loads of intrigue, and everything like that. And I recommend everyone kind of looks. Now my third and final book, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This is the most modern of all the three I'm going to talk to you today about. This is probably on the other extreme of Flowers for Algernon, which has very little of any science fiction, but it's about something happening. This is all aliens and unknowns going on. It reminds me of TV shows like Firefly, and with a mix of Star Trek. It's a lovely story that I absolutely adored when I first read it. I think it was about 10 years ago now. Becky, what she really does here, she really crafts and helps you visualize her universe that she's created with all the different species. It's perhaps not. It's probably something that you can only really do in a book like this, because she has all these different species and aliens. Like the bird-like ones and everything like that. And this is essentially a story about their adventures. What they're going to do. You see how humanity spread out amongst the stars. Something that I find very hopeful and very similar to Star Trek, which I'm a huge fan of. Maybe I'll do a video about that one day. But the universe she creates here is so rich. If you love those things like in Star Wars, where you have all the different aliens around you, playing musical instruments and everything like that, then this is a book I really recommend that you go for. It's kind of about a new crew member who joins the crew. I think, what's the ship called? Is it the Wayfarer? And it's about the relationships he builds up with all these different crew members, understanding their culture, understanding their lifetimes. Essentially, they're just building some space bridge or tunnel or something like that. But the worlds that are there are so rich that you want to close your mind and imagine to. There's probably elements of, say, the deep lore and universes of Mass Effect within this as well. It's such a fun story that I don't think gets enough attention. But I just absolutely adore it. It's about the people along the way. It's about learning, what's going on, who's there, everything like that. So those are my 3 science fiction novels that I absolutely adore. I'd love to hear what yours are, so if you want to leave them in the comment box below. He points manically, or maybe you're looking on a slightly different voice where they're there, or up there, or there, or there. Anyway, if you want to do all that jazz, like comment, liking and subscribing, peace out. But until next time, joie d'affaires.